Welcome back. Nighttime cravings, how to stop eating after dinner. So, if you are getting late night snacks or your sweet tooth starts acting up after dinner, this is a video to watch. See if you can relate to this post I saw online. Does anyone else completely lose control after dinner? I can eat perfectly all day, hit my protein goals, stay in my calorie range, feel proud of myself. Then 8 p.m. rolls around and I turn into some kind of snack monster. Boredom makes me want ice cream. Even when I'm not hungry, my brain is like, you deserve a treat after that long day. I tried brushing my teeth early, going to bed earlier, keeping only healthy snacks around. Nothing works consistently. The evening appetite hits and logic goes out the window. Then I wake up feeling guilty and like I sabotage another day. Anyone figure out how to break this cycle? Feels like I'm fighting my own brain with appetite control every single night. Click like if that's something you relate to. This is a common topic when it comes to late night cravings, nighttime cravings, getting your snack on after dinner, especially if you're on a diet, you're trying to change your health and you're wondering what's wrong with me or how I can improve this stuff. All right, first thing, let me tell you, you're not the only one. This gets 3,600 searches per month, nighttime cravings. So a lot of people are wondering this and wondering if something's wrong with them. And if there's that many people, maybe there's nothing wrong with you. It's just something that you want to consider with your process. Now, usually this is a case of restriction and incomplete framing, not considering this thoroughly enough in order to get effective results. And that's where I can help you. When you don't have that complete framing, you can put your short term goals and long term goals into a conflict. And then you'll feel guilty when you finally satisfy that short term desire and then it doesn't match your long term. So, this is how you're going to fix it. Let me tell you, let me introduce myself first. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance. I help business owners lose weight and feel their best without crash diets or guilt. I've got the Live Aligned Scorecard. It's a 3-minute quiz to check your health habit score and learn the best next step for you to take. That's linked below on YouTube. Something I want to point out when it comes to this person or maybe how you're feeling, then I wake up feeling guilty and like I sabotage another day. That is the whole reason I got into health coaching, because this is stuff that can really hinder your empowerment, your sense of purpose, your confidence. And that goes into other areas of your life. If you are feeling guilty for the choices you're making, that is disempowering all of your choices basically, because you're saying I can't even eat right, so what can I do right? So I want you to understand that this is bigger than food and just like a crash diet thing. This is going to empower the rest of your life and help you understand how you make choices so you can lead a healthy and fulfilling life of your dreams. Really is about understanding your thought process, building your self-awareness so you don't have to feel guilty about making choices that you wanted to make. And so back to that key question I like to ask, what does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams look like? This is something we're going to get into here. One thing to think of, you're okay. Like, this happens and it's okay. You have to accept yourself first in terms of building your self-compassion and understanding that what is challenging for you now is an indicator of where you can grow, basically. So you just want to develop your awareness of your choices and how you make them in real time in your real life, not just like your imagination or what you think could be perfect if you did this or if this didn't happen. Developing your awareness in real life. So really what we want to do is look at the root cause, the deep problem behind these things. The real problem is that eating perfectly in a plan that doesn't consider what you want, that is the problem. So this person said they're eating perfectly until 8 p.m. and then they go off the rails. That is its own issue to consider when you're talking about that kind of language and then what it can mean behind that. So what I want to point out here, your diet doesn't have to be restrictive when it comes to losing weight. A lot of people think they have to cut out all sugars or do a bunch of things that they don't want to do or don't enjoy anything that they like to eat. And then they feel like that's perfection. Like whatever you want is imperfect. And that creates a lot of friction between your short term and long term goals. What I want to do is have you understand that what you want is okay, and then you make decisions that match what you want. You just have to frame that correctly so that it's easy to make the choices that you want to make that match your long term goals. We'll get into that a little bit more. I talk about that a lot on the channel, so subscribe so you can learn more. But let's break down the nuances of this particular person when they said they eat and they gave reasons like they get bored. Treat your boredom directly. I covered this a couple times on my channel. When like it is fun to eat and it's an entertaining thing to do, and it's delicious and it's stimulating, all that stuff. Especially if you're talking about like ice cream or late night snacks or something sweet, right? Those things are rewarding to eat. However, when it comes to boredom, you want to treat your boredom directly with things that are exciting and possibly non-food things as well. So probably non-food things if you have a weight loss goal, because you're shifting your habits from what you used to do into things that match what you want to do more often. So in terms of treating boredom directly, doing something that's fun, or sometimes you can just be bored. That's a challenge for a lot of people who, you know, we are into a fast pace, always entertain, always pull your phone out, always browsing YouTube, those kinds of things. But it's okay to just be bored. If you're having a hard time with that, then meditation could be really effective for you. Or even just thinking about, okay, I'm bored. What do I want to do to entertain myself versus I'm bored, I'm going to get something to eat. So make that less of a factor. Treat your boredom directly when it comes to establishing healthier eating habits. I talked about that in a video, how to avoid eating when bored at work. I'll put that in the description below. So when you start to do these things and have these thoughts, your mind will let you justify what you really want, because it's a motion driven process. So deciding that you deserve a treat after a long day does not treat boredom, right? If you are bored and you're like, oh, I deserve a treat after a long day, that's not going to help you reach your weight loss goal. And it doesn't even make sense if you think about it. So if you are bored, do something fun, and then don't try to, or don't allow your mind to twist it into a justification for something that matches your short-term goals. You deserve a treat. You deserve the best anytime you want. It's just that you want the best to be relevant to what you actually want. Don't like discount yourself or create a reward system here for sweet foods or less healthy foods if it doesn't match your goals and what you truly want for yourself. And that's what I want you to consider. What do you really want for yourself? All right. So deciding you deserve a treat after a long day does not treat boredom. You don't have to treat yourself for living a great day, or a successful, productive day with food or other ways to reward yourself. I have another video I'll put below, non-food rewards and ways to make yourself feel better or celebrate yourself and your progress that don't involve eating additional calories. Next to consider here, food choices aren't logical, so you have to create systems that make it easier for you to make choices that match your long-term plans. So the person said that logic goes out of the window. Well, the thing is, when you're talking about emotions, you can see how very quickly your mind can justify things that are not even close to based in rationality or logic, because it's not like, it's food. It's your mind is very creative at getting you what you want and then letting you come back and fill it in. So don't rely on a sense of logic. What you do instead is create a system that makes it easier for you to make healthy choices. So if you have a tendency to eat less healthy foods late at night, then you can do other things. And that's kind of what this person has tried to do. These are just tactics. These are simply tactics. They aren't always going to be effective because there's a level of thinking and processing that has to happen before. And that's kind of a whole problem of the weight loss industry, mindset, diet culture, is that there are all these things you can do, but there's strategy and process and planning philosophy behind it. And that self-understanding is what a lot of people are missing. So if you try brushing your teeth early, that might make it less delicious to have a less healthy food or a high sugar food. Going to bed earlier, that can, keep you further away from the refrigerator and then have you less active and less like energized when it comes to making these choices and keeping only healthy snacks around. These are ways that, like, the smaller steps, but they don't actually solve the root problem. The impression of sabotaging your day deserves questioning, but it's about doing what you want. This empowers your choice to carefully consider what you want instead of making yourself do things that you don't want. So if you feel guilty the next day for something, it's because you've done something that you wanted to do in that moment and that just simply doesn't match what you believe you wanted in the long term. So when those things are incongruent, then you can make a choice to feel bad about yourself, or you might unconsciously make a choice to feel bad about yourself, feel guilty, feel like you're not good enough or unacceptable. And those are things that are going to make it a lot more difficult for you to make sustainable changes. So you're doing what you want, just make what you want aligned with what you do in terms of short and long term goals. All right. So the real question here, do you want to eat perfectly? Do you want to not enjoy any of the sweet foods? Do you have a specific calorie target in your mind that you think is the perfect number for you to eat for whatever days, right? And then there's also like an emotional judgment part of perfectly versus what imperfect, not good enough, less than, failing, falling apart, like all those things, right? You want to think about what this means for you. And if you are able to, if you allow yourself the capacity to eat in a balanced way that's satisfying, that has foods that you enjoy, that makes you feel good, that builds your confidence so you don't feel guilty the next day, right? That sounds more perfect to me than, doing something like a crash diet or an unsustainable plan that doesn't work and then going on to wonder, why can't I do this? It must not be perfect if you can't do it. Is another way of thinking of that. So if you are thinking, how can I do that? Eat more perfectly. You want to account for your immediate desires or your tendencies, who you have a history of being, your habits and patterns, and then make the changes in your system to make it so you make healthier choices. And this one, since you've tried so many tactics already, this is more about how you consider your health and your eating habits in regards to the rest of your day and a healthy and fulfilling life of your dreams. So, other ways to process this besides just tactics and not feeling good enough is shifting your rate of weight change or calorie goals. Making sure that these things are realistic is essential, right? Some people will cover or pick up some kind of calorie target that doesn't even really make sense. It's not related to their life. And they're like, this is perfect, but it's not based on their actual patterns, habits, and daily lives. So if you're doing that, if you're picking that random number and you hit it, you might feel unsatisfied because it's not actually who you are or what you want. So you want to make sure it's sustainable and realistic for you. So your rate of weight change can help you decide your calorie target. But if you're trying to lose weight too fast, your calorie target is going to be too small. And then you're going to feel hungry at the end of the day. When you are more tired, you have less determination, and you just feel hungry, right? So double check that. Make sure that your rate of weight change and calorie goals are realistic. I'll put a video at the end so you can calculate that for yourself based on your own needs. And that's the important part. Don't just pick 1,200 calories and then think that's a perfect number. If you fall short of that, that makes you imperfect, because that sucks. That makes you feel guilty and like you're self-sabotaging your diet. Don't do that. Okay. If you are looking for some next steps to take, I've got you here. Check your health habit score and get personalized tips that are based on what you want in the Live Aligned scorecard. I'll link that below. And then next, you can watch why you can't stop snacking and how to finally fix it. I'll put that video up here. That will help you consider things differently so you can beat these nighttime cravings and understand your health choices in the context of the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So that's today's message. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. As always, keep practicing. Peace.